Grubb, your host from giantbomb.com. Thank you for tuning in. In this episode, we're going to be talking about more leaks coming out of the Game Awards, and Xbox hardware sales seem like they truly fell off a cliff. It's going to be a good one because we have Lexi Luddy on the show. Lexi, how are you doing?
Well, people are leaking all over the place, and no one will call a doctor.
Yeah, it's like they think it's normal now. It's weird. And I'm a known leaker, so I'm an expert on the subject. I can speak on this. Yeah. Hey, you built a computer.
Yeah, that's so. Quick shout out to the Giant Bomb community. Over the last little while, I was raising some funds to build a computer, and then it all came together very quickly, and prices started to go up, and so I got things ordered. And the Giant Bomb community really showed up and helped support me. And yeah, then this weekend, the final parts came in on Saturday, and then from about Saturday at 4:00 until Sunday midnight, I was building this computer. I wound up sleeping on the couch because I had nowhere left in my room to sleep on Saturday night. But by the time Sunday came around, it was done. And boy, that's stressful. People are like, oh, it's like building Lego or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but like Lego bricks aren't worth $100 to $200 to $400 each, depending on which one you're holding. And also don't make very loud clicks when you put them into place that sound like something's breaking.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the troubles come from the fact that like the standards that like are involved in building a PC were set 30 to 40 years ago, probably even before that.
There's a part of me now that like looks at it and is like, now that I've put it together, it's even more black magic. Like it's even more like, I just like combined these parts like they were like Technics, and now suddenly I have like a powerhouse PC that can run Cyberpunk at 120 frames per second. That seems illegal. Someone should stop that.
It's bizarre, and it's like when we could improve things, but then there would be less compatibility and less standardization, so we just don't. We're like, look, it's good enough. People just need to learn to like accept the fact it's going to make loud clicks, and you're going to feel like you're breaking shit. But just go in there and do it. And once you do it once, you get used to it. Did you remember the thermal paste?
I remember the thermal paste.
Let's see. What kind of cooler did you have for your CPU? Do you have a tower cooler? You have a AIO? What'd you get?
A Peerless Assassin, a cool gamer cooler.
Cool. Okay. All right. So I think you're literally cool. And then what is your GPU?
It is a 5070 Ti.
Okay. You're gonna be
I put this together with the help of Turbo Sean helped me out, and then a friend of mine locally, Lilith, helped me source those parts or similar parts in Ireland that I could order. Because shipping from somewhere like America right now wouldn't be a great idea.
No.
And then I bothered poor Damian Mason, who, if you don't know, used to be a writer at PC Gamer, and is just a great tech head, and also has been a long supporter of Start Menu. All weekend, I was sending him DMs pretty much constantly, and then at the end of Sunday night, he was like, hey, by the way, I've been sick this whole time, and so I've been doing this all from bed. And I'm like, oh no! Oh no! But yeah, it's built now.
You're using it right now, right? Like, are you on it right now?
Yep, this is the computer I am now using.
Fantastic.
And of course, the first thing that I loaded up was the latest and greatest video game, Borderlands 2.
Of course, yes. That's.
Do you want to know why?
Yeah, sure.
So there was a news story last week that apparently, after about like 8 years, they finally fixed the NVIDIA PhysX compatibility.
Right.
So that now works. And I remember when I was like literally 13, when Borderlands 2 came out and people were playing it, seeing like streamers play it and see them have like physics and be like, this shit is fucking mind-blowing. And then I went back and I played my crummy PS3 version. I was like, this hunk of junk, this bullshit. So now I'm like experiencing physics for the first time as I remembered it, and it's blowing my fucking mind.
And do you want to know something funny there?
Yeah.
So your GPU is faking it. because the 50 series is the first series since NVIDIA introduced it that does not actually have a physics like compatibility. It has,
Cool.
so it's like, yeah. So what you can do is, this is where PC game gets really fun. You have this big honking 5070 Ti in your computer. What if you put in another older GPU in there at the same time that your 5070 Ti can speak to and be like, can you just run the PhysX stuff? And old games like some of the Batman Arkham games and stuff like that will run a little bit better on your 5070
Robert, I'm going to tell you right now, shut the fuck up. I'm never opening this box again. This box is going to stay closed until it goes in the fucking trash in 20 years' time.
It's a good time over here. Eventually, you learn to love it. Like, you're gonna end up in a Stockholm syndrome situation. So just embrace it
totally.
now.
Like, I wound up with 2 NVMe SSDs, so now I have like 4 terabytes of space, and I'm like, ah, shit, this is clean living. Going from a laptop with like less than 800 gigs of memory and having to constantly plug in hard drives to that to be able to use it, I'm like, oh shit, I could just start downloading games. I'm never gonna fucking play them, but I can just download them.
Get a little handheld vacuum and or air blower and clean that thing out, every 6 months or so. That's all you got to do. All right, let's explain what we do here. We're Giant Bomb, video game doofuses, independent games media, out here on our own, doing things like hiring Lexi for a little bit to come edit stuff when we're going to do a bunch of Game of the Year lists. We're going to have a bunch of people write that stuff. We're able to do something like that because you have our backs. You went to giantbomb.com/join. You became a member.
I'm going to break the website. Sorry, by the way, I meant to tell you. Going to break the website as quickly as possible.
Honestly, it's just we want to keep Chuck on his toes, so I welcome that, of course.
Turns out I'm also QA.
Yes, exactly. Right. Listen, we got to get our money's worth too. All right, so you go to giantbomb.com/join, become a premium member. We noticed that many of you have. If you are waiting in the wings and you want to ensure that this whole operation can continue, if you're happy with it, the way I am, the way I know many of you are, go there, join, and let's keep the future of independent games media healthy and strong in this world where everything else is so uncertain. As far as this show goes, most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game S Mornings or find the RSS feed on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. All right, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with leaker claims upcoming Star Wars game announcement ends with The Old Republic. This is from Alex Hopley at Game Reactor. Last week, the leaker Kurakasis made headlines with their tease that a big Star Wars game announcement was coming, and that it wasn't related to the previously revealed games of Star Wars Zero Company or Star Wars Eclipse. Now, Kurakasis has added some more details to their claim. They've also teased that the title of the game will end with The Old Republic. Now, this immediately made fans think of Star Wars The Old Republic remake, but things might not be so simple. Yes, Saber's remake of the classic RPG would be very interesting if it returned from the ashes to remind us it exists. But there are other possibilities for other games to be set in the Old Republic era too. Some fans believe this could be the next major franchise tackled by Creative Assembly in its Total War series, for example.
I was going to say, didn't they say that they have one more game to announce as part of their 25th anniversary?
I think so, and that game is real. I heard about that years and years ago now. They are making a Star Wars game that is, I think, supposed to be sort of a spinoff of Total War at Creative Assembly. I don't know. I don't think I ever heard about it being an Old Republic game or not. Like, I don't think I ever.
Yeah. If you're gonna do an RTS or something like that, if you're gonna do a strategy game, people want the units they recognize from the movies.
Yes, that's a really good point. So, like, you're gonna want stormtroopers and Star Destroyers.
And I don't think people really give a shit about, like, here's the ancient Sith, and here's some guys who are like kind of religious monks or whatever.
Now, so they could do prequel era. I think what might be happening here is because Total War has a lot of ranged combat, but they also have a lot of melee. Maybe they're like, we want armies of Jedi, and we can only get that in the Old Republic. I think that's not the only way they could do it. Like, the prequel era would give them both of what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah.
A lot of familiar things that you saw in the movies, and then a bunch of Jedi. But I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit difficult to work with Lucasfilm on setting something that is, all their games are supposed to be canon now. In the prequel Clone Wars era, so I don't know. I think honestly, this probably is the Star Wars: The Old Republic remake. It feels like it's probably about time for them to tease something there. This is a Saber joint. I think they are kind of handling this all on their own now. Last I heard, and that was the reporting I did a while ago, Sony wanted nothing to do with it. I don't think that's changed. So it's like, okay, they could like reintroduce this thing now and sort of establish, hey, things have changed a little bit, but we're still making this thing the way that we kind of promised early on, and wasn't even us making that promise. But I do think there's also a chance that this Total War game could be there as well. What do you think?
Plot twist: it's Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Yeah. That would be. I would like. We actually finally.
And they gave it to someone else.
Yeah.
They were like, "Listen, you keep working away on that one. We're just gonna see if someone else can beat you to the punch."
Mm-hmm. I listen. If they actually like finished Knights of the Old Republic 2 the way they said they were going to that one time, and then they actually didn't. I think that was Aspire that did that.
Yeah, it still annoys me that Switch version is like so bad and broken and unfinished, and they sell it for like full price as if it's a functioning product. It's the same. Mafia 3 on PlayStation 5 is literally unplayable and has been for like 5 years since the PS5 came out. Really? Because it just gets stuck in infinite loading screens where you'll get to a certain cutscene, and as soon as the cutscene ends, you'll go into a loading screen, and then the loading screen will end, and it'll put you back at the start of the same cutscene again. On any PS5, and they sell it as part of like the Mafia Definitive Edition bundle, which is a PS5 SKU bundle on the PlayStation Store, which feels really grimy.
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of stuff is really bizarre. That there's games like that could be on a major platform that just don't work and never get updated. You would think that that's something that the platform holders would do something about. Weird. All right. Listen, this is this week, right? Today's the 8th. This is happening on the 11th. Happy birthday, Mike Minotti. This is happening on the 11th, right?
Yes.
Okay, so really kind of we're getting down to the wire here. Last few chances to guess what the show is going to be like. I think it's going to be a pretty big show. I think it's going to have quite a few pretty big games. I think that we got a little bit on the other side of a lot of these companies cutting a lot of stuff that they were slightly uncertain about, or had just a tiny little bad feeling about because they're cowards and they are afraid of risk. But now it's like, okay, it's time to double down on what games you think you can release, and I think a lot of them probably are ready to talk about those projects. And where better than the Game Awards, really? It really is the event that has the most eyeballs. So yeah, I'm expecting big things from this show. How about you?
I kind of think it needs to be a big show, like for Jeff, just from the point of view of like industry sentiment towards the show is probably the lowest it's been since the Spike TV days. Like, I don't know if you see how people are talking about Jeff and the Keeleys and the show.
I mean, the thing is, but like, they're talking about the way I've always felt about it. So it's just like, for me, like, this is like
has
old
been
news.
really refreshing is seeing people talk more publicly about how people have talked about this privately for years. Of like, yeah, we get that this is like functionally important and we probably do kind of benefit from it as an industry, but it's deeply flawed and it's deeply frustrating, and it's nice that people are actually saying that out loud now. But it does definitely feel like there are people who are in like positions of prominence who are frustrated with the way that show presents itself and treats the industry and people who come along from the industry, or more so can't come along from the industry, and like all the stuff with seat fillers. Like, I'm not sure, did you see Nextlander watch that Microsoft Xbox 360 MTV thing?
I saw a little bit of it, but not much.
Yeah, and a bit of that is like, oh, this is very clearly like young, attractive people who are hired in from an agency in the crowd. And There's zero reason why the Game Awards should be doing that. Like, there should be enough demand for those tickets. They should be priced appropriately. I don't know. It just seems like a thing where like you could get a crowd of people who actually cared if you wanted to. And you could get a crowd of developers if you wanted to. But it does feel like he needs a big year from that like sentiment point of view.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there is a. You kind of don't make a show like the Game Awards without caring deeply about the way you present yourself and the way you think you need to present the industry so that other people take it seriously. And that's always, felt deeply inauthentic.
Adaptation of the year.
Yes, right. Let's find more ways to talk about Hollywood. It's always felt deeply inauthentic to me, and I've made peace with that. Like I'm at a point where it's like, we're gonna do the real Game Awards over on giantbomb.com, and you can hang out with us over the holidays and hear what real people have to say when they talk about video games in a way that is real. And then I will watch the commercials at the Game Awards, and I will applaud when a game I like wins. And so what? I'm not. I have very low expectations from the Game Awards, and really from Jeff himself. Like, he's just running a business, and I don't care to sort of try to fix him.
I think I said this last time, but like treat it like how Marge treats horse betting. Just like bet that everyone has a good time. Just be like,
Exactly. Yes, and we know a few that,
which in the case of the Black Myth Wukong guys last year didn't happen. But hey ho.
All right. Well, there's more from the Game Awards this year that we have to talk about. The Game Awards' mysterious monolith still not solved. Although we got some new interesting theories as more names get crossed off the list of possibilities. The Game Awards' mysterious monolith is not for Lords of the Fallen 2. This is from Haley Williams at GameSpot. The Game Awards founder Jeff Keighley has been teasing an upcoming game announcement, which happens to involve a massive glowing demonic statue placed in the middle of the California desert. While it's still unclear what exactly the statue is promoting, CI Games CEO Marek Tominsky has confirmed it's not for Lords of the Fallen 2. When the statue was first revealed, the most popular guesses for what it was marketing included Diablo, a new God of War title, Elder Scrolls 6, or the Lords of the Fallen 2. Tominsky posted about the monolith on Twitter to confirm that it was not the latter, saying he was flattered people thought the stunt might have come from CI Games, but his studio is not at that level just yet. I
realized this instantly because that statue looks a bit like some female parts, and that would be way too woke for the studio. So
exactly, yes, they don't female genitalia representation. We can't have that in video games. We need to make games just for the boys. Okay, so there is a new theory, and I guess before we get to that, do you have any other guesses at this point? I
am sticking with my Saros bash. That is the most.
No one's
likely
come out
one.
to say that's not it yet either. Like a lot of these other ones, people jumped out and said that's not it. No one said that about Saros yet.
If it's not that, it is going to be some vein of I think like maybe there's a chance of a FromSoft thing, but that doesn't seem like their marketing style, especially their Western marketing style. I think there's like a chance that it's something Microsoft related because they have the money for that, and this does seem like their marketing style. But other than that, those are kind of my bets.
All right, so we have a new theory, and I'm feeling pretty good about. But I'm also feeling very similar to the way I felt when we put the hyenas noise underwater on Game S Decides, me and Mike, and thought we were solving Echo the Dolphin. So hang in there. But also, if you want to be surprised by the Game Awards, I don't know, maybe skip 5 minutes, because I thought there's a strong chance this is it. Gian, it might be worth bringing up that second image that's here in this story. Okay, I'm going to say what the theory is. What if it's Altered Beast? Aesthetic Gamer Dustgolem on Twitter posted this. I cannot believe the more I sit on this and see online guesses and their evidence, the more I'm buying this might be an Altered Beast thing from Sega. I do quote, wise from your grave, a bit more than I should. But so he's basically saying I might be seeing things. But the statue has, like, the first thing we saw was Jeff Keighley on November 28th posting a picture of the bottom right part of the statue that has a bunch of like creatures and skulls and stuff all like cobbled together in the stone. And you could find many of the characters and creatures from Altered Beast in that like all clumped together in the statue, including like the wolf, this bird, and they look exactly like they do in Altered Beast. There's this like weird crocodile thing, a weird dinosaur thing, a weird bear thing, and then a mountain of flesh like that. They have a mountain of flesh on the statue. They have a mountain of flesh in Altered Beast. What more do you need?
Rob, I think you're gonna need to find a new guest. I can't be the person who's on with you when this comes back in 6 months' time, and people are like, "Do you remember when they thought it was gonna be fucking Altered Beasts?"
Now,
and Lex just played along because she was like, she yes-anded it, and like that's just good podcasting.
I'm not losing my mind. Sega is doing like
they are working on an
games.
Altered Beast game. Yes, they have said they are working on an Altered Beast game. Oh no, that was a Golden Axe game. But
right,
yes,
they right, Golden Axe, but it's like all in the same vein.
Yeah.
Look, do I want to believe? Yes. This would be for me, like of all the guesses, if this one was real, this would be the most fun for me. Saros, we know about. That's announced. Why be coy about Saros? Like I agree. It looks a lot like those Saros tentacles and stuff like that, but I would be disappointed. So it can't be that. Like we can't have. What's the point of getting excited, Lexi, if I'm just going to be disappointed? It can't. That's just so it just can't happen that way.
Yeah, it's honestly not a bad guess. My one like reservation is like I don't know if Sega of America gets money for marketing anything that isn't Sonic.
Yeah,
like I don't think they get like big splashy. Let's go do a activation thing for anything else because like it's not like they're doing this for Like a Dragon, and it's it's not like they're doing it for the new Super Monkey Ball game. Like they should just put some monkeys in some Zorbs and release them into the desert and let that be their next viral marketing campaign. But yeah, like that's my one hang up with this is it seems unlikely that they would get the money to do this. But sure, if it's Altered Beast, that would be fucking funny. And if nothing else, as bad as the industry can get right now, it has been really fucking funny this year in a cosmically tragic kind of way. So sure, let's just keep going with that.
Yeah, I would. I think I welcome it because it would feel like a reprieve from all of this. It's like, oh my god, we could still get something like Altered Beast. Sega, thank you so much for making me not have to think about the world for 5 seconds.
And also, like, Shinobi Art of Vengeance is one of my games of the year. Like,
yeah.
And I am very curious about those other ones that they are working on. The Crazy Taxi, the Golden Axe, there was another one as well. But yeah.
A couple.
Yeah.
Either way, I think they like first announced this initiative, right? At a Game Awards, Sega, bringing back the old games. So, this is hopium to a certain extent. I'll be happier if it's actually Echo the Dolphin. If we turned out, they're like, you know what? We heard that one episode of Game as Asides, and we took Hyenas, we canceled that, we turned it into Echo the Dolphin for Jeff Grubb and Mike Minotti. That makes the most sense to me. All right. You know what? Let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk about someone getting ready to retire, it sounds like. We'll do that after these messages. If you want to skip out on some ads, we have an ad-free version of the video show and an ad-free version of the audio show. You can get those by going to giantbomb.com/join. In the meantime, we will be right back. All right, we are back. It's Game Mess Mornings. Lexi Luddy, Jeff Grubb. Let's talk about this next story. Tekken director Katsuhiro Harada is leaving Bandai Namco after 31 years. This is from Kenneth Shepard at Kotaku. Katsuhiro Harada, veteran poster and the director of the Tekken series, has announced he is leaving Bandai Namco after 31 years. In a lengthy post on his Twitter account, Harada said that at the end of 2025, it will see him leave the company, and that with Tekken reaching its 30th anniversary last year, right now felt like the most fitting moment to bring this chapter of his life to a close. Harada reflected on his roots, which involved promoting Tekken to players in Japanese arcades. He says that those days immersed in local fighting scenes both in Japan and in community centers overseas became the core of who he was as a developer and a game creator. While reflecting on the past, Harada also said that recent personal tragedies and professional movement helped him come to this decision. In recent years, I experienced the loss of several close friends in my personal life, and in my professional life, I witnessed the retirement or passing of many senior colleagues whom I deeply respected, Harada wrote. Those accumulated events made me reflect on the time I have left as a creator. During that period, I sought advice from Ken Kutaragi, whom I respect as though he were another father, and received invaluable encouragement and guidance. His words quietly supported me in making this decision. Over the past 4 to 5 years, I've gradually handed over all of my responsibilities, as well as the stories and world building I oversaw to the team, bringing me to the present day. Yes, and Harada basically signed off by saying he's going to be done at the end of this year. Obviously, he just spoke. He did a eulogy for Tomonobu Itagaki for his funeral, who just passed away recently. They sounds like they became even closer as Itagaki was reaching the end. Seems like that affected him. Of course, there's probably many other aspects of this that we're not aware of. He's talking about personal tragedies, seeing other people leave his life. Yeah, you do something for 31 years. I can imagine looking up and looking around being like, well, let's get while the getting is good. And that feels like what he's doing here.
It's also, worth noting that Namco as a company is not the same Namco that he started in. The Namco that he started in was just Namco. This is Bandai Namco, which is a very different thing. It is a company where the majority of their profits aren't with video games, it's with anime, and in the video game sector, it is anime video games that are like where most of their best performing games come from, other than Elden Ring and Dark Souls and stuff. So, like, there's definitely been a culture shift there over the years that I'm sure he's felt, and he's kind of like, he's worked his way up to being an executive producer on a bunch of different games and general producer on a bunch of different games. And like, he doesn't just work on the Tekken games as people kind of assume. But I can totally imagine kind of being at that company long enough and just kind of being like, listen, I could do another one of these. I could do another 3 of these, but like, I kind of want to do something else with my life. And if he's not getting the leeway to do that inside the company, to go, work on a different game or try different pursuits inside the company, he has enough clout in that industry that he most certainly can get funding for a next product from a different publisher or a different first party or something like that. And like, he talks here about working on the Pokken games. He has relationships with Nintendo. He's been around the industry in a way that, like, and Ken Kutaragi also came up there. Like, he clearly has friends in multiple different companies, not just inside a Namco. So he definitely doesn't feel boxed into having to stay at Namco. So yeah, you can't blame him. You can't be like, I'm glad to see so many people coming out of the woodwork to just be like, talking about how much he means to them and to the community. Jason Finelli had like some nice words to say about him, recognizing him back when he was first starting out as a writer, and he always seemed like a really legitimately quite nice guy. I'll always remember that the Summer Game Fest that I went to, he was having his birthday there, and they had an ice sculpture for Tekken 8 at Summer Games Fest, and that was like his birthday party or whatever. So yeah, he seemed like a guy who liked to have fun.
Yep, yeah, definitely. And I think you're right. Like, at a certain point, he made Tekken 3. He made some of the best games of all time. And I bet these days, trying to navigate, like, delivering a game that he's happy with, that also delivers on, what the fans say they're wanting, as much as he like has a antagonistic relationship with fans a lot of times. It's because he's listening. You can tell he's like, that stuff does get to him. And then also navigating what the company wants, which is that's got to be like very diametrically opposed at this point, of the kind of games he probably wants to make versus what the fans are asking for versus what the corporation needs. And he's done that so many times. It's probably only getting worse trying to navigate that sort of thing these days. So yeah, sort of take your victory lap.
I'm sure you know this pretty well, but like, a clean slate is a very attractive proposition. Like, all the challenges that it comes with, it is still like the possibility space of being able to start again and kind of not be tied to as many expectations and to as much baggage as you are tied into currently is a real nice prospect, you know?
Yep,
And
absolutely.
good on him for taking it.
Yeah, I hope we do kind of see him around still, or if he does like decide to like fully retire, we'll see. But for now, it seems like he might end up doing something new, and if he does, I look forward to seeing whatever that is. I hope maybe I would
I
love to
hope
see like him.
Kamiya lets him drive his Ferrari.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to see more of these elder statesmen of the Japanese gaming scene do what like Yuzo Koshiro's doing, where he's like, I have like a small studio where I'm like making a game with like one other person, and he put out that Eartheon shooter earlier this year, which is like one of the better shooters in the last couple of years. Like spaceship shooter. When I say
that
shooter,
gets
like,
me thinking. I wonder if we see Negoshi's game at Summer Games Fest. It's been 5 years.
It's been enough time.
He left in 2019 and founded that studio like early 2020.
Yeah, some of those studios fell through. Some of those ones of like guys going to China to work, but I think his is
yes,
still
he was signed with NetEase, and NetEase were basically like, yeah, we're not going to market this anymore. But they did commit to funding the project to completion, which seems like a strange move to be like, we're going to fund this project all the way through, but we're not going to fund the marketing of it.
Yep. Corporations being weird. Oh, never. All right. Kojima says his upcoming game OD may not, quote, work out. This is from Eddie Maku at GameSpot. Writer-director Hideo Kojima has multiple new games in the works, one of which is the horror title OD. Not much is known about the game, and the recent Knock trailer raised more questions than it answered. Now, Kojima has further discussed OD, saying it aims to offer something new. Of course, that's what most developers would say. Perhaps more intriguingly, Kojima discussed with Anonweb via translation how he does not know for sure if his idea for OD will even work. I can't say exactly what it is yet, nor do I know if it will work out. We've created stealth games and delivery games which were unlike anything before, but system-wise, they were similar to other games. He explained, referencing Metal Gear Solid and Death Stranding. This time, we're trying to change the service model from the ground up, so it should be quite challenging. We've packed the trailer full of hints, so if you keep thinking about it, you might figure it out. So I don't think he's saying it's like it might not work out, as in like this whole deal might not work out with Microsoft. We might not make this game. Instead, he's saying the finished project might not work out in the way that he's envisioning it. Do we have any idea, any sense of what kind of game this is? Is this like
the speculation is because he was out there talking about how he was working with different, like he was working with Jordan Peele and Guillermo del Toro. The speculation now is that like it's some sort of episodic thing where each one is almost like a Twilight Zone style.
An anthology.
This is Jordan Peele's one. This is Guillermo del Toro's one. Which would be super interesting if they did it. It sounds like a wild way to make a video game. Like just the sheer amount of asset generation that you would have to do for different narratives from different creators, all rolled up into one package. It doesn't seem like it would work financially. But that's the going kind of speculation from what I can gather. This is like also in a weird spot because like you would think it's his next thing because that was the first one announced. It was announced before Fizzant, but also they've clearly hit roadblocks, most recently with like the Udo Kier stuff. Because they said they didn't get anything filmed with him, and they clearly were going to film stuff with him.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there is a part of this interview also that he was out there being like, yeah, I could make a stealth game in my sleep, which was pretty funny. So maybe at some point Fizzant comes up the order release date wise of like, actually this is something where like they kind of have the bones of a stealth game with Death Stranding. They have a lot of those systems in place. They just they haven't fleshed them out as much as they are in like a Metal Gear game. So I can see the transition to doing something like that be much more smooth than like this was going to be an Unreal Engine 5 game. This was going to be a game on a different engine in first person, which is again a different perspective to what Kojima's done for most of his career with the games he's directed. So yeah, it seemed like a big undertaking.
Yeah, he has been talking more and more about Fizzant recently as well. Now that he's kind of getting Death Stranding 2 behind him, I'm sure that they will do director's cut stuff and all that stuff. But yeah, it does seem like that is moving up a little bit. I like the idea of anthology sort of PT sort of thing where it's like every episode is its own kind of take on this short horror game idea. And even if many of them are very similar to PT, I think that there's a lot of meat on that bone, and they could do a lot with that. That could be pretty fun, especially if it's like, maybe some of the mechanics are reused or repurposed, or like there's a slight twist on them. But now we're going to bring the flavor of this different horror creator every single time. That could work. I would welcome it. There is like some cloud streaming aspect to this as well. I remember. Yeah, so God,
Yes,
I'm going back to go ahead.
Who was it that they brought in? They brought in the person from Valve, right?
They brought in she was from Valve. She was from Stadia. I think she is the person that was. I want to say her name's Kim. She worked on
Kim Swift, Portal was games.
It? Kim Swift. That sounds right. Yes.
Yeah.
This is my reporting from years ago, and I'm forgetting it. That's just my life.
Weird.
Yes.
Weird that you'd forget something. Rob.
I know, right? It's so unlike me. Yeah, like the whole idea was like he wants to make this project using the cloud, and they brought in an expert who had worked at Google Stadia to basically work directly with him and help him figure it out. I don't know. I mean, I guess if they are making something that is like anthologized, and it's going to have a big names attached to it, maybe the idea is let's make it as easy to access as possible, and so people can just stream this anywhere. Do you think that makes it like you might not even be controlling this with a controller? It might be all like sort of prompts on a screen sort of thing, so that people can play on their phones.
Well, I've heard everything's an Xbox, Grubb, so you know.
Yep. So everything's an Xbox, so you don't need to buy an Xbox.
Yes, it was Kim Swift.
Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see here. Next story: Yu Suzuki Studio considering legal action over fake Shenmue 4 trailer. This is from Andy Robinson of VGC.
I love this.
This whole thing is like, yeah, I mean, it was definitely fake, everybody. Come on. YesNet, the studio founded by acclaimed Sega designer Yu Suzuki, has issued a statement to deny that an alleged Shenmue 4 trailer circulating on social media has any connection to the developer. Last week, the off-screen video, which Janet's playing for you guys now, I want you to just like watch it, and you know it's fake now, but like,
it looks like it's made in Fortnite.
It looks like it's clearly AI, and if you want like the key these days to tell if something is AI, really fast cuts, like constant fast cuts, like no shot longer than a second or two, to the point where it's like this is kind of hard to watch. It's like that Coca-Cola AI commercial where it's like they are using like whatever it is, VO3, I actually don't know what any of these things are actually called, to produce these shots, and that thing produces things that are like 1 to 2 seconds long usually. And so they get a lot of that stuff. It's rough. So yeah, anyway, Yu Suzuki's company is saying, yeah, this thing is definitely fake. It appears the footage could be AI generated. In a post on social media on Monday, the studio acknowledged the video, which it said uses our company logo without permission, falsely giving the impression that it is an official Shenmue 4 related video produced by us. YesNet said the video has absolutely.
We want to make it very clear we have no intention of finishing the story.
Or if we do, we're going to make it even shittier. So just hang on there. YesNet said the video has absolutely no connection to YesNet, and that it has not released any trailers, footage, or other promotional materials related to Shenmue 4. The statement goes on to state that it considered the matter serious and that it's currently working with relevant parties and preparing appropriate measures, including potential legal action. Yeah, fuck it. Go ahead. I mean, all you got to do if you're making one of these things, if you like a fake trailer, is I made a fake trailer. People post that shit to YouTube all the time, and then just somewhere in the description it says, like this fan casting or whatever, and they get away, and then they get millions of views from people trying to see the trailer for fucking Indiana Jones 17 or something like that.
I remember when I was a kid, I got super freaked out by a fake Spider-Man 4 trailer where Aunt May turned out to be evil, that I saw on YouTube, and I was like, oh no, this is so upsetting.
It's we all have our stories like that. Especially the internet made that stuff really fun and harrowing. It wasn't just someone telling you something on the playground about, hey, this thing is coming and this happens in there. I was able to, I had retro or nuclear grade confusing things that would mess me up and make me think, oh, is this real? All right, so Yu Suzuki is going to sue the AI people. Go for it. I want to see it. They're not going to make a Shenmue 4, right? If they do, it's like, I don't know.
They have had so many opportunities to finish that story, and like first you would think they would finish it with Shenmue 3. You think someone there would realize like, hey, this is the last hurrah, and then they were like, actually no, this is only the halfway point. And then they announced that they're doing an anime, and they're like, actually the anime starts from the very beginning. We're not going to finish the story with the anime. And then they're like, we're making a new Shenmue game. It's a remake of Shenmue 3. We're gonna make it less shitty this time. Which I gotta say, when I first got the email from that, because it was from like a really small PR firm, I was like, this can't be real. This can't be real. And then it was like, yeah, we're taking appointments for you to see Yu Suzuki at Gamescom. And I was like, this can't be real. And I was already fully booked, and I couldn't go to see Yu Suzuki and tell him I think his games are bad. But you know, maybe next year.
Yeah, that's the dream. You can always just do it next year. Yeah, I guess, you know, as we talk about it, I wouldn't be surprised if they give it one more try. I just, I don't know what it looks like.
I think if there is another Shenmue, I don't think it finishes the story.
No,
because he's made it very clear that is like a 17-part story, and they're only like part like 8 or 9 through it at this point, and like, yeah.
I mean, if you haven't given up on that by now, it would be actually kind of stupid to give up on it at this point. To be like, hey, no, you know what? I was wrong. I'm not going to stick to my vision. Whatever. I'm going back on it. Let's just end this thing. It's at this point, it's like this is this man's odyssey. I want him to see it through, and by that I mean live the rest of his life trying to make these Shenmue games. That is
God. Now that you say it,
to me.
When Kojima gets old enough, I hope he makes his version of Megalopolis.
Yeah.
Like, clearly, like, he's lost the touch, and he's still trying to make things work, but he does it with like $1 billion video game. I want
his own money.
That would rule.
That's the reason. The money is the reason I'm like, Shenmue is a little uncertain, right? Because even with Shenmue 3, like, do you remember how Shenmue 3 went down? Like,
yeah, it was like announced at a PlayStation event as if it was the second coming for a Kickstarter.
A Kickstarter. Right.
And then it became like, very clear that the Kickstarter was just there to show that there was interest and that people would buy the game.
PlayStation was like, we did it, everybody. We Final Fantasy XIV, that game with
The Last Guardian.
With the giant dog bird, that's back. Also, we did it. Shenmue 3. They're gonna need some money though. Here's a Kickstarter link. That was crazy. So
we're not giving them the other guys. We were like, we'll give you the money for this. He came in. We were like, we'll give you some time on stage.
So even with Shenmue 3, couldn't get like direct funding right away. I'm sure they got some funding, but it's like even that.
I do really like the idea of Yu Suzuki like coming into a Sony boardroom and all the Sony execs going like, oh well, shit, waiter's coming. I gotta use the toilet.
I do hope we see a Shenmue 4 someday, and I also hope he never finishes the story, because that's the best. All right, PS5 dominated Black Friday 2025, earning 62% market share. This is from Alex Hopley at Game Reactor. This is let's see, the game business provided this data provided by Nielsen. The PS5 had 62% of the console market share during the weeks of Black Friday. Unit sales were up by 16% for PS5, mostly thanks to the big price drops from Sony for the shopping event. That is the thing here. PlayStation is really the only console that had a major discount during Black Friday. There were some discounts here and there for the Switch 2, from $500 to $450 with the included Mario for the Mario Kart bundle, but that was retailer by retailer, and it just seemed less available than the PlayStation price cuts. So PlayStation, it seems like a lot of people were waiting on the sideline. Like, I'm gonna act now, get this before GTA 6 comes out. Let's see, there was
Xbox were like, we'll take like $15 off the price.
Yeah, it's like honestly, it's like we'll pay for your sales tax and not even all of it. Yeah, it's bizarre. Let's see here. This is from the UK. I meant to include. Let's see here. Matt Piscatella, I believe, has posted something about the sales in the United States, where it goes like this: the PlayStation was number one, Switch 2 was number two, number three, not Xbox, the next Playground. And then he actually didn't include anything about Xbox at all, which I think we could presume it was number four. Do you know what the next Playground is?
I've only learned about it through reading the replies to Matt's post. It seems like it is some kind of Android-based subscription device. It sounds like the Ouya 2 that quietly came out and was sold on like TikTok Reels.
Yeah, well, that's how it's being sold now. So I have a next Playground that Steph, my wife, got us for free somehow. I don't ask questions. So she just gets deals sometimes, and I think that was part of like a promotion of them trying to be like, let's see if we can get this out here and sort of juice sales and stuff like that, and create some excitement.
Get it to the influencers, yeah.
Get it to the influencers. Get some user reviews or something like that. And we used it, and the very ironic thing here is, it is a Kinect. It's a Kinect. It is an iToy. It is a camera in a box, and you do pay a subscription. You get access to a bunch of games, and they are all just like iToy games and Kinect games. So the idea that the Xbox got outsold by what is basically a standalone Kinect years later is very funny, and kind of sad in a lot of ways.
It kind of like, at this point, Xbox feels like it's like 2 steps away from the end of Tar. Like Xbox feels like the Lydia Tar of gaming, which is weird because Lydia Tar is the Lydia Tar of gaming in a lot of ways. But you know, that's kind of the vibe that they give off at the moment.
Yes, we will be seeing them perform the Monster Hunter like fanfare here pretty soon. Okay, here's Matt's post. In the US, PlayStation 5 accounted for 47% of total Black Friday week hardware unit sales, leading the market. Nintendo Switch 2 ranked second at 24%, and the next Playground was third at 14%. So that's 28. That's 78. That's 75.
That doesn't leave a whole lot of other percentages.
Right. And it's like there's other hardware things that like would be counted in here. Yeah, not a lot of room left for the old
he did kind of go on to say, like, you know, Black Friday deals are contingent, or Black Friday sales are contingent on deals. Like, people don't buy things at retail price when they go into a store on Black Friday or they order online on Black Friday, which, like, yeah, Microsoft didn't go that far below retail price, so of course not that many more people were buying it than usual. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird vibe.
It speaks to them not again continuing not to care about selling the Xbox, which is a story as old as time at this point. But it's like, I don't know, every stark reminder of that really hits home, and this is another one of those. It's like, you know, you drop $100 from that thing, you probably do move quite a few during Black Friday. You didn't do it at all because, like, no, we don't care. We've been raising the price. Why would we drop it back down? This thing's got to sell at a certain price for us. It's
But what do you think is the last like news story or initiative from Xbox Microsoft where like you've had any positive feelings towards any of it? Like, think back to the days of like them doing backwards compatibility at the start, or like being like, oh yeah, Game Pass is like, we know that you're getting a deal on this Game Pass exploit, but we're actually going to leave it be. Like, when was the last time we had anything remotely close to like goodwill going in that direction at all?
Yeah, it's been spotty at best, and it's you kind of have to like pick and choose the wins there. Like I'm still like I see Double Fine release a game like Watcher. I'm like, okay,
Keeper,
cool, Keeper. Thank you. Yeah. Yes,
I look at that and I go, Double Fine did a good job. I don't look at that and go, Xbox did a good job marketing that.
No, yes, exactly. So, well, I'm glad that they still are able to release a game under Xbox, and Xbox did not get in the way. How much they contributed to anything? Probably not much. But yeah, it's like I'm happy to see some of those studios are still going. But I don't know. Ever since like all those layoffs and then the game cancellations, the most recent round, it's like, oh, this is not just them trying to make things work. Things have fundamentally changed. They are no longer interested in this business. And so everything else is tainted. And I just don't have positive feelings about it anymore. So it's been at
I
least
say it
since
every
then.
time that Xbox and Double Fine comes up. If you haven't watched it, that Psych Odyssey documentary,
Yeah.
the episode where Matt Booty visits Double Fine and talks to the team, and the team comes to Matt with their concerns about Amnesia Fortnite and potentially not owning the things that they create during Amnesia Fortnite. And Matt basically goes like, yeah, well, we'd own them. So just bear that in mind. And the room is just like dead silent. And the camera zooms in on Greg Rice's face. And it's just like the guy who put the deal together. Yeah, the guy who put the deal together, it just zooms in on his face. And it's just like, it sinks in. And it's like, oh, this is who we sold to. Oh no.
Yep. Yep.
It's wild that documentary got out there. It's so wild. That documentary is incredible. If you haven't watched it, I seriously can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, it's the like one of the best looks into how a game gets made and everything that people have to go through. It's quite impressive, and it's super long and super detailed. Okay, let's see here. Start wrapping things up. Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine releases a song for Final Fantasy XIV. This is from Jonas Mackey. Final Fantasy XIV continues to be incredibly popular, not least thanks to the fact that Square Enix is steadily expanding its game with relevant content that keeps it feeling fresh. And they are clearly going to continue doing so, surprising us now with a musical collaboration. Through Blue Sky, it has been announced that legendary Rage Against the Machine guitarist Tom Morello has collaborated with Final Fantasy XIV composer Masayoshi Soken to release a song. Soken is said to be a big fan of Rage Against the Machine, hell yeah, which is why Morello wanted to do this, and we can look forward to hearing the results as early as next week, December 17th. Morello himself says in a short video clip that he wanted to make an absolute rocking banger of a track that would mirror the energy and the potency of this game. So don't expect classic Japanese role-playing music. Cool. Have they done something like this before?
They've had like guest people come in. They did obviously all that Nier stuff. I'm not sure if they've done as much like Western musicians coming in. I don't think this is like a Nintendo getting Toby Fox to do Pokemon music kind of thing. But I am not surprised.
I was going to say that I think that like it's mostly they've just been afraid to do it because everyone like is like, oh, we're going to be compared to the most perfect example of this, and that's Paul McCartney doing the Destiny song, and everyone's like, we're going to look bad compared to that. So I don't blame people.
I mean, like that song's good. It's not as good as Temporary Secretary, but what is Paul McCartney's genius knows no bounds. But yeah, I'm not surprised that Square is battening down the hatchets on like refortifying fan sentiment towards Final Fantasy XIV, because boy, did they get spooked by it dipping.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of reporting around the time of Final Fantasy XVI like, oh, did it underperform? Internally, there were people at Square who knew that game wasn't going to reach the targets that they were setting it, because of course it wasn't. It was early in a console generation and only on one console. Like, there's a lot of deluded people at Square Enix. Not everyone is out of their goddamn mind, but like Final Fantasy XIV having a noticeable dip in subscribers and the sentiment going down especially terrified them. And so I don't think you're going to see Yoshida working on other projects outside of FF14, even if that maybe once was the plan. But yeah, that's as much as I'll say.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I guess we'll hear this next week. Yeah, I agree with some people in chat who are saying he probably just like wrote a song and sent it over to Soken, and Soken might add some zhuzh on top, and we'll see it there. That's of course. All right, let's get to the next part where we didn't have a poll question because it was the Bomb 12 last Friday. I'll get a post up today. There will be a new link so people could start submitting their game for the Bomb 12 for this Friday. In the meantime, let's do this new poll question. Did you buy a console for Black Friday? No. And then I'm going to give you the option of PS5, Xbox, or Switch 1 and 2. Only 4 options, so no Next Playground. I think that might be a different audience anyhow. Like I said, I have a Next Playground. I might do something with that. We might do a quick look or something. It's like at least 2 years old. We got it about 2 years ago. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll do
relevant as ever.
Yeah, more relevant now than
Chasing
it's ever
the
been.
SEO trends.
You know me, just an absolute whore for that stuff. All right, let's see here. So we'll get that poll question posted. There it is. Jan's got it up there right now. Go find it on youtube.com/@giantbomb under the post tab. You can get it there. All right, Lexi, where can people find you on the internet? What do you have going on and all that good stuff?
Yes, I'm super busy at the moment. You can find me on Blue Sky at lexluddy.xyz. Currently, Start Menu is doing its own end-of-year winter spectacular, where every day through October we have different guests writing pieces for the website. Just today, Gabe from 84 Play wrote his list for us, his Game of the Year list. So go check that out. It's a fun read. We've had some really cool other people on there. A bunch of people that I met over in Japan who were like way into the idea of being involved in this. So casting a wider net this year and getting some cool people involved. And it's not just, journos and people in the traditional games writing space. We try to get like everyone from PR people to game developers to anyone who like wouldn't normally have an outlet to write something like this, to be able to write about whether it be their top 10 games or like just what their thoughts on the industry are this year or advice to people. So check that out on startmenu.co.uk.
All right. Let's see here. Like I said, that poll question from earlier is going to go up on Giant Bomb. And then I say, speaking of Giant Bomb, we're going to have a week of content. So tomorrow will be the Bombcast. I believe I'll be getting back in the Knuckles outfit, but not to play any game, to watch Mike continue to observe Mike continue to go down the deep rabbit hole that is Leisure Suit Larry box office bust on Blight Club. We will have to talk over the Game Awards.
I'm getting kind of worried that this is your thing. Like,
yeah,
you need this.
It's worrisome about that.
Like this, you're getting off on this. Is that what's going on here?
I don't listen. I don't judge you. I don't know why I'm being judged here.
You're right.
Well,
you're right.
What I need is for this game to end. It is a nightmare.
It's so bad.
It's so bad, and I'm not even playing.
It's one of the few games where watching someone else play it after 2 hours, I'm tired.
Yep.
I'm like, boo, that was a tough Blight Club today. I didn't do fucking anything. I was sitting at my desk watching Mike play it. I wasn't even on camera.
It's a good pain though. Everybody, you should tune in and really see what Dan has done to all of us at this point. Yeah, Mike's been blighted.
It was a masterstroke. Credit where credit is due. It was a masterstroke.
All right. We're gonna have to talk over those Game Awards. We'll do that. That'll be so Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night. We'll be talking over the Game Awards. I think we're gonna start like a half an hour before the pre-show. Everybody, that's the plan. So come hang out with us.
Is it too late to strap a camera to Jan and just have him walk around the streets of LA?
Listen, he'll have a camera strapped to him. Whether or not he turns it on is his business. So we'll see. He's going to be doing some fun stuff out there, everybody. So if you see him, say hi. Okay. I think that's everything we're talking about right now. Oh, the site. The site is up. It is, launching a step at a time here. You go to giantbomb.com. I think it should work. Like, you can go there. I know there was troubles with logging in. Chuck's getting everything working in the appropriate order, so just bear with us while things are getting sorted over there.
Remember, if you run into any troubles with it, just at Dan Reichert on Blue Sky. He's the tech guy. He will sort this out for all of us.
Yep, Chief Tech Officer. He's all over that stuff.
#1 Silux fan, Chief Technical Officer. Those are Dan's 2 titles at Giant Bomb.
Oh yeah, tune in the Bombcast tomorrow. I'll talk about my feelings about Metroid Prime 4. I was gonna see if I can get it finished and do a review on this episode. Not ready, but tomorrow we'll talk about it. Okay, I think with all that out of the way, I say, Lexi, thank you for hanging out with me today and talking about video games. I really appreciate it.
Grubb, it was a pleasure as always.
Thank you all for watching and listening. You are the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.